we're gonna talk about introduction to project management because this is one of the very important things that we will do in the workplace. So if we will be joining companies or the industry, so part of the one of the big jobs that you can take is leading a project. So in the future, as engineer and working as a R&D engineer or project engineer, so it would be good to discuss some basic principles about project management. Now, in my personal experience in Philips Semiconductors before, so I was part of several projects in the company. So I've shared about electronic semiconductor um, electronic semiconductor what do you call this, electronic semiconductor projects, no? So power devices, collaborating with those guys, the R&D people, our counterpart in Hazel Grove, Netherlands. So I think some of the perspectives now that I can share is my job as a project leader of those I've been through, like semiconductor projects. So I've led several projects actually in the Philips Semiconductors in Laguna before. So part of my sharing will be based on that experience. And I was assigned kasi I was not in the process or production line. We were assigned. I was assigned in the new product introduction group, and part of the work was to introduce new technologies to products before they are actually being launched in the production line. So most of the things that we do is to develop new products, assess the products, test the products in terms of their manufacturability or testability. So all of these things before they are fully embraced in the production line. So part of my job before was to talk to suppliers, talk to machine producers. So to for us to enable to develop a product. So I have the opportunity to visit South Korea. That was my first visit in South Korea when we acquired some equipment just to develop, for us to develop a new product. And I think some of the equipment were purchased in Hong Kong, and Japan. So those are the countries that we interact with and the people we interact with in terms of getting equipment for us to develop a particular electronics product or power semiconductor product. All right, so these are just basic principles. So we need to understand. So we need to also go through these learning objectives. So expectedly, it would help somehow how we will be able to um, manage projects. So yeah, these are the things that we're gonna discuss about the attributes of projects, the constraints of projects. What are those? So we will describe them, and the key elements of the project management framework, project stakeholders, the project management knowledge areas, and other tools and techniques, such that we may be able to at least have a better chance of succeeding in managing a project. So what should be the skill set, or understand also the roles of the project manager? What would he do so that our projects will be successful? So there are a lot of history about project management, and even today, so there are a lot of jobs available online, offline, or face to face, that requires project managers. So a lot of potential, or a lot of shall we say opportunities exist, for project managers. All right, so um, today, so even so, you'll see a lot of projects developed. So infrastructure projects, that's one in the country today, in the Philippines. So we have the PWH, a lot of projects being outsourced to contractors, and these contractors has to abide by the rules and laws, but they're able to get projects. So even the ICT, in the ICT, ECE, electronics engineering, so there are a lot of projects being managed by electronics engineer, because of, like, for example, this one big project right now. If you're familiar with the third telco, the Lito Telecommunity, that's the third telco, and their project right now is to install a lot of towers so that they will be able to launch the company in March 2021. That's their target commercial launch. But right now, they are eyeing for the January 7 technical launch. They're gonna test all the towers. Uh, that's one. So the project is to install a lot of base stations across the Philippines to fulfill the obligations to the government. So yeah, so ECEs has a lot of opportunities for ECEs, for projects. So if you will be involved in projects, so that would be a good thing. It's going to be very challenging for project leaders. So these are statistics in the US, in terms of projects being done. So 2.3 trillion spent on projects every year. So maybe this year it has gone down, even in the Philippines, because of the pandemic situation we are in. The projects that infrastructure projects or any other projects in private and government has lowered down, because of the pandemic. Yeah, so this is a study based by a group, called the Standish Group, and they determined in that particular study that only 16.2% of ICT projects were successful in meeting scope, time, and cost goals. So it's been very challenging. So a lot of even infra, all other projects are very, very challenging because, like, weather situations, especially for the Philippines, now we are typhoon prone. So this is also one data or information here is 31% of the projects were canceled even before completion, costing 81 billion US dollars. So that's the problem now. If you have a project and it's not completed, then that's the cost. That's the cost for those projects that being canceled. So we don't have data in the Philippines, but I think this would mirror, so for other economies as well. So advantages of using formal project management, so better control of financial, physical, and human resources. So when we deal with projects, so these are the three items that we're gonna focus on. Human resources, like if we have a big project, we need to define how many people they're gonna need. So how much money, financial. Then physical, what are the, we gonna need large buildings to carry out, for us to manage properly the project. So when we use a formal project management, the good thing about this is we'll have improved customer relations because we will align, so with you and the customer. As project manager, you will have an alignment of perspectives in terms of how you carry out your project. Shorter development times, lower costs. So these are really the target, because you would want that your project be executed in a manner wherein you're not overspending and you are not beyond the target timeline. So these are the benefits that you will see in terms of really doing the formal project management. Then higher quality and increased reliability, higher profit margins, improved productivity because you are trying to manage the cost. So these are the end product. So better internal condition, higher worker morale because of course you are meeting your objectives. So in return, you might get bonuses from like especially if you have financial savings, the huge financial savings, and your boss or the owner of the company will be happy to provide you bonuses because you've saved a lot. So in terms of managing the project better. So unsa man project? So what is a project? So project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So I should have capitalized temporary, because a project should have a beginning and an end. So that's why we're stating here that the project ends when its objectives have been reached or the project has been terminated. So it has a definite start and it has also a definite end. No? So operations is work done to sustain the business. Projects can be large or small and take a short or long time to complete. Okay, so building a house, that should be considered as a project. No? So like building our house here, that's one of the projects that I think I'm happy and proud to accomplish. No? So I saw to it personally, the construction, from the planning to construction to, of course, with my wife. No? So, but I dedicated myself for like almost a year, no, in terms of building the house, no, until it's fully like built, right? So it has a beginning and then the improvements are no longer part of the project, because in a project there is a certain particular scope that you would agree on with the contractor and the architect, for example. No? So when you improve your house, so that's a different thing already. So these are some of the attributes of a project. No? So a project has a unique purpose. So you should define. No? So when you have a project management or project that you're gonna be working on, so you need to define what is the objective or the purpose of the project. And again, it is temporary. So I highlighted this earlier. And this is being developed using progressive elaboration. So required resources often from various areas, right? So resources, human, financial. No? So we need money, we need people to help us build the house. No? So what are the things that these are, I think, two of the major concerns that you would need to have, no? to run a project. So it should have a primary customer or sponsor. So well, I was treating the building of our house like our customer is my family, no? So at the same time our sponsor, no? So but in real life, in the company, so every time you take on a project, so you also have to identify who is the sponsor of the project. For example, who is gonna be providing direction and funding of the project. So we know in our company before, so there is specific name. So for example, my immediate boss before, no, Ronald Kisabat, so I have to highlight him. He is my project sponsor. So he's gonna provide funds because he's part of the management team. And then of course, my customer will be the entire Philips company. No? So very particular, my customer would be having direct benefit would be the company itself. And at the same time, those bosses that we have in or counterpart in Hazel Group in Netherlands. And usually projects have uncertainty, no? Along the way, even if how much you plan your projects, along the way, there are a lot of uncertain things. Like before the pandemic, nobody even think about that the pandemic or COVID pandemic might be happening, no? So this was not taken into consideration, and perhaps a lot of projects were put on hold, no, because of the quarantine. No? So at that time, during the quarantine, so everybody was shut down. No, so that's the thing. No, because of this unforeseen, no, na event. So yeah. So the project and program managers work with the project sponsors, the project teams, the members of your team, and other people involved in projects to meet the project goals. So you would think about other offices like the budget and finance, no, the accounting, even the human resource. No? So you get to work with them because there are a lot of things that you would need. No? So that's why when running a project, team meetings with them will be very, very important, so that all of you who will be working the project, you have the same understanding of the project. So when you have a program, that is actually a group of related projects managed in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. So if you have a project, so you have separate projects. Now, for example, you have a very big project. So the project would be renewable energy production. So that's the program. And under that renewable energy program, you might want to think of projects that, okay, solar photovoltaics. No? So that's one. Mini or micro hydroelectric. power generation. That's another one. And then you have coal fire power generation. So these are different projects that you can take. And under that, that is under that umbrella. So forgive me, no, if you are looking at renewable energy, so coal-fired should not be included there. So it might be solar thermal, solar photovoltaic, it could be hydro, mini, micro hydro, biogas, no? So geothermal, so those are different kinds of projects. And if they are put into together, although they are independent of each other, so that can be included under the renewable energy production program, for example. So program manager obviously programs and often act as bosses of project managers. So for every particular project, renewable energy project, so there is a project leader there, another project leader for geothermal, micro or mini hydropower plants. So at the end of, shall we say, 5 years, so you're able to put up different renewable energy power plants, no? And then all those project leaders report to the program managers. So the program managers is the boss of all those project leaders. So every project has key constraints, no? So the scope, this is the goal, no? What work will be done. So you need to define that properly, no? So when you say solar photovoltaic power plant, meaning to say you will not be engaging yourself to micro hydroelectric or to even to some solar thermal. So you have to be very specific to this particular scope, no? So how about time goals? How long should it take to complete? So meaning to say you should define the duration, no? So for the entire project. If you are a program manager, so you need to also define the entire program. No? So that's the thing. Now, as project leader, it should be the job of the project leader now to define this time duration of how long the project is gonna take. So that's also true for the cost. So as project leader, you will have to anticipate everything what you would need, no, for the project and consider them in advance, the cost that you're gonna need. So for example, building a house, a basic example again, going back to the house. So you need to be able to set a timeline na house is gonna be done in 8 months. So the scope would be building a 2-story house. So that's the scope, no? So 400 square meter house, and then when you say two-story, that should be only be 2-story because that's the scope of the project. No? So it should not be over than the 2-story that you define, no? Or lesser than that. Then the cost goes, I need to have a budget of 10 million pesos for this particular 400 square meter house. All right. So it is the project manager's duty to balance these three often competing goals. So sometimes there will be specific fund only allocated, no? So for this particular project, and then you need to manage as close as to that. So sometimes there are cost overrun, but management limit that to 10%. No? So for example, your budget is 10 million, and then along the way, those unforeseen, so unforeseen events or unforeseen costs. So you should only have 10% overrun. So we need to say 1 million additional only. So your budget will be until 11 million pesos. So project managers, good project managers anticipate in advance. So well thought, no, projects. So that when the project is executed, no, or implemented, so there are very limited problems or challenges along the way. But good managers, even if they are posed with challenges or constraints, then they somehow find ways on how to properly manage it. All right. So this is the parang the triple constraint in a graph where you see the scope, goal, and time. So remember, we have to, like, if we can meet the time duration, the forecasted time duration in a shorter time frame, that would be good for the company, including the cost. So for example, the project leader promised 12 months of construction time. And then because you're a very good project manager, you're able to do that in 11 months. So of course, your boss will be very impressed with you, and your customers will be very happy as well. So project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project requirements. All right. So, okay, I think specific terms here should be very familiar to us. Of course, when you're new into project management, so you need to study a lot of books that are available online, materials that you can find, but it takes experience to develop this knowledge and skills. No? So it's not just by absorbing all the knowledge that we have here right now. Experience is one of the major thing not to go or improve ourselves in terms of managing projects. So techniques, tools and techniques, they would help. If you observe them well ahead in advance, use those tools, and then with the experience you gain from managing projects, then that will be very good for us as well. So if you see in this slide, so there are stakeholders' needs and expectations that you need to define and agreed on. And then this is looking at the program actually. So you have different projects portfolio here, project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have different knowledge areas. So in terms of the core functions, I've mentioned HR, procurement, there's quality, cost. So the different kinds of management, such that at the end of the project, you would have a success, and then that would somehow contribute to the entire enterprise success, so meaning the entire company. Now, so every company, lagi na yung mga project, there are a lot of projects now, so might be directed towards quality improvement, might be directed towards cost improvement. So before, what we're running actually is to, other than innovation, producing new products, we're also driving the free package cost. So meaning to say, reducing the packaging cost of the electronic products. So you should also be aware that there are also what we call as stakeholders, and these are the people that are involved or affected by project activities. They may not be the people who will be spending money, but once you have this project running or implemented, so they might be actually, some of them are recipients or they are benefiting from it. So those are the stakeholders. So stakeholders include project sponsor, project manager, the project team. These are mentioned earlier, support staff. I mentioned also customers. Then the users of the product, if you are developing a product. And suppliers are also key stakeholders, because they will be providing you raw materials to produce the product. And relationship with suppliers and customers are very important. In every enterprise, customer relationship is very important, as well as to the suppliers. So if we have suppliers, of course, as a supplier, we as customers are very important to them as well. Why is opponents of the project are also included as a stakeholder? Now, because one thing I could think of is that this may somehow, either you see it negatively or positively, because if you have a positive take on this, like for example, your opponents can be a source of challenges, in terms of keeping you in your toes, in terms of developing the product. For example, Apple and Samsung, so they're trying to develop, smartphones. So the opponents of the project, for example, are those who provide you actually challenges to do better, because they're also developing better products as well. Okay, lag. I'm lagging because I think I have a internet connectivity issue. Okay. 9 project management areas that were described earlier. No? So those 9 knowledge areas describe the key competencies or competencies, no, that project managers must develop. Okay, so skills or knowledge areas. So 4 core knowledge areas lead to specific project objectives, and that includes scope, time, cost, and quality. Right? Try to remember this: scope, time, cost, and quality. We have discussed the 3, but quality, we know already that I think you've heard often about this term, but it should always be given. Now, every time we do things, it should be in terms of high quality. So it's very subjective. No, if you think about it, it's very subjective. But shall we say, you bought a TV, no, television, and then you just recently bought it yesterday, and today it's not working anymore. No, so you might like say this is really terrible product. No, so meaning to say it has a bad quality, right? So bad quality. No, so how do you like for a certain television set? So how what is your perception in terms of quality? So maybe you would define it na in terms of quality pictures. No, so high definition, so very good colors of the TV. No, so you would be appreciative. No, though we know that there are given technologies behind it, but the perception remains on the user. So you using the TV, you will be very appreciative. Wow, this is a very good TV. And so even if this is high quality TV, and so those are parang perception. But in products, there are certain criteria when you can say a good quality product. So in terms of measurements, so product measurements, that's one. So in terms of power output, for example, that's another one. So there are specific minimum criteria such that when this product is delivered to the customer, the producer, so they can safely say that this is a very good quality product. Now, we need to also understand that quality and reliability is two different things. Reliability. So, although wala pa dire, I did not mention here, it's not being mentioned in this slide, but reliability means quality over time. So, for example, you have a car and it's still running even after 15 years. So, it's very durable. So, you will say, this is a very reliable car. Like, for example, this is a Honda CR-V car. It's now 20 years old and still it's running. So, aside from our Fortuner in the house, we have a Honda CR-V in the house that is like 2003, bought in 2003, and now 17 years later, it's still running and it runs fast, no? So of course we have to replace some of the things in the car, but then the engine is very, very reliable. So that means quality over time. That is reliability. No? So a lot of people sometimes confuse these things. So for me, I got to understand this while working in Philips Semiconductors or NXP Semiconductors. So misconceptions between the two, right? So I hope that's clear. And the other 4 facilitating knowledge areas are the means through which the project objectives are achieved. So the means, so this is the highlight, the means. Human resources, communication, risk, and procurement management. So these are the means. So for a project leader or the project team to carry out the project, all right? So the means. So what are the things that you need? So you need people, you need the procurement management team, communicate with people, you need to identify the risk. So these are the different knowledge areas for the means. And the other knowledge area that affects and is affected by all of the other knowledge areas is the project integration. So all knowledge areas are considered very important. Okay. So in running projects, we need tools and techniques. So there are different tools and techniques that we need to also get ourselves familiar with. So specific tools and techniques include project charters, So this is a document, right? So scope statements, you can integrate that in the project charter, and the WBS, this is called the work breakdown structure, that we will be talking about part of this conversation. Scope. So Gantt charts in network diagrams, critical path analysis, critical chain scheduling, and I think I'm gonna share about Gantt charts as well. And when we talk about Gantt charts, there will be network diagrams and critical path analysis. I think there is that thing as a critical path method, the PERT CPM, that we're gonna discuss as well. All right. So cost estimates and earned value management. So we need to look into the cost. So cost is very important. So we need to manage cost. All right. Why do we need improvements? The reasons for the increase in successful projects vary. First, the average cost of project has been more than cut in half. Better tools have been created to monitor and control progress, and better skilled project managers with better management processes are being used. The fact that there are processes is significant in itself. So even personally and leading projects, for us to be very successful, we need to have tools. We need to have tools, and those project managers who have good grasp and learnings from using tools have better chance of being successful. So these are some of the identified project success factors according to the Standish Group, so in their publication. So very important, executive support, meaning to say who are the bosses in the company. The boss of the company will be very, very supportive. It will be a problem if the executive will be those people who will always be like questioning what you are doing. So you have to get support from the top management. So based on my experience, so I report to different bosses before. I have a lot of bosses because for one, my immediate boss who looks after me, other bosses are those people who will be affected by the project. So I have to report to them. Then every week we would have a project updating, like every Monday in the morning. And then of course, if the boss are happy, then everybody's happy. But if the boss are not satisfied with the work, that's the thing that you will often hear from engineers in the factory that sabunan na naman. So sabon, meaning to say sinasabon, pinapapagalitan, because of course the executives are not happy with what we're doing because we've not done better in what we did, or we're doing. So, but at the end of the day, they will get mad, they will be very angry, but at the end of the day, so they would be asking project leaders, so what can you do to improve this? Anong kailangan mo? So they would often ask that. So I think in our group, there are always like 5 of us project leaders who would report to the bosses to run projects like this. So because that involves millions of US dollars. Like for example, one equipment that we bought in Korea costs around 500,000 US dollars. Another equipment, 300,000 US dollars. Another equipment, 200,000 US dollars. So if you sum it up, based on the budget, there are like about 2 million, 2 million US dollar project. So that is like around 100 million pesos. So that's why companies spend money, but they're looking for return, cost as well, cost savings as well when you run the project. So these are the different project success factors. So meaning to say, if you will study this carefully, proper planning, you have competent staff that you have. So these are very, very important when you run projects. That's why it's very important to pick those very competent engineers when you run projects, because when you have experienced engineers and very good engineers, so that would somehow say something to how you would run the project later on. So the role of the project manager is includes planning, scheduling, coordinating, a lot of coordinating actually, and working with people to achieve the project goals. So you will be working with with people. So these are so that's why in leading projects, in managing projects, it's very important if you have good rapport with your colleagues, with people, even if you are a senior engineer or a manager now, it's very important to work well with those people at the level. Now, for example, my experience is that I get to interact a lot with factory workers, so those operators. So even if you're an engineer and you have a salary very high or higher than them, now, so it doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship will be like there is a gap. No, actually, I befriend all those people in the factory floor because somehow, somewhere, I will be needing their help. So I will be needing their help. So who can help you when you don't know how to run the equipment, how to run the test equipment, the process equipment? So those operators actually, so sometimes they are very generous. Now I will do the product testing so for you. So that would be a help for us. So remember that 97% of successful projects were led by experienced project managers. All right. So it has to be to gain experience. So for us to become a very good project manager. So I do believe constructing 10 houses over a period of time, that would help you, become a experienced project manager. All right. So you're gonna have to like go through this process because if you're being young and you handle your first project, of course you're still learning, but the thing is that you need to learn as much as you can. So I think the personal skill set that is required is you should have this desire, and desire, hunger, to learn in all respect. So learn, even if I get older, even if at my age now, at 40s. So I still read. I still read a lot. So I still buy books because learning is a never-ending, parang never-ending part of our lives. Because we don't want to be left behind. We don't want to be like in the future where everybody is using gadgets and we're left behind. Parang we don't know how to use even the laptop or computers. So how many people today in their 60s, 70s that don't know how to do these things? So it's a never-ending work. Okay. 15 project management functions. So there are a lot of this. So define scope of the project, identify. So you will be leading. You're the core person to really look into the entire project. So from people to cost to the financials to the suppliers interaction to the potential customers of the project. So all of these things. So all of these lists identified here. So these are the things that a project leader does. Preparing contingency plan, identifying and evaluating risks. If they are low risk, high risk. So if it's high risk, if this event is gonna happen, what are you gonna do? Or something like that. For example, sa balay na lang. So for example, we are having classes, like for example, sa mga estudyante, like for my kids, so they're having classes here at home. And then in the event of burnout, what can you do? So as a parent, we need to have established our own contingency plan. What can you do? So meaning to say, we need to have a battery backup systems, or electric power generator, or kind of generator. So these are part of the defining the contingency plan. So as engineers and a project manager, so for us to be very, very good in running a project, to have a very successful project, we need to have these things. Identify all these job functions. All right. So it's our job also to report project status all the time. So there could be monthly, quarterly, and if it's a multi-year project, then we need to provide a annual project report or something like that. All right. So these are some of the things that project managers need to have, the skills. We should be comfortable with change. We need to understand the organizations they work in and with, lead teams to accomplish the project goals. All right. So we need to have a variety of skills, but we should also be comfortable with change every time. You know? So we need to have the specific flexibility. You know? So if there are events that we cannot, doesn't necessarily mean that you plan out of the things that would actually happen. No? But when there are things that will not happen, we need to be adaptable. No? We need to adapt to the change. So change is it's a good thing, no, all the time. So sometimes there are engineers who like kanira good. If this is the thing, then that's it. No, but as project managers, we would be very, very, very flexible. No? So we have to be like adaptable to change. Okay. So leading projects as a project leader, we need to make sure that our team, no, our project team members need to understand what's at stake in the project. So what's at stake in the project? The goals, not only the goals, but also if we will not be meeting the goals, what are the eventualities or what would be the impact to the company, something like that. No? So for example, I'll go back to this specific third telco, Dito Telecommunity. So when they won the bidding in the government, so they have this CPCN that they promised to the government, or meaning to say they said that they're gonna meet 1,800 towers. That's specific now, so I'm not pretty sure about the figure, but they promised the government that during the 1 year duration, they're gonna build 1,800 when they won the bidding, no, 1,800 towers. They're gonna have a 27 megabits per second of internet bandwidth available to the consumers or customers. So these are the project goals that they define. No? So at the end of the 1 year, so the government will assess them, no, if they were able to meet. Otherwise, they will lose the bond. No? So the government asked Dito Telecommunity to for Dito to post a bond that is 25 billion pesos, I think. And if they will not be able to meet that government requirement, then they will lose that bond. No? So there is a specific time frame also with that. Now, supposedly they were actually being technically audited by July this year, but they were not able to do that. So they requested because of the pandemic. No? So a lot of the constructions were halted because of the situation we are in. No? So lockdowns. No? So now they asked the government to postpone it to the January 7. So January 7 will be the technical audit of Dito. And that's a time that third-party auditors will also audit their outputs. So project managers need to have a hard and soft skills. So balancing out. So hard skills include product knowledge and knowing how to use various project management tools and techniques. All right. So skills, knowledge, tools. So these are the things that we need to be expert on. And then soft skills. So include being able to work with various type of people. So when we lead project, it is expected now that there are different types of people that we're gonna work with. All right. So they have different attitudes. They have different backgrounds. So one thing could make people happy. Some things, this type of group of people may not be happy. And I think very specific is in terms of motivations. So how you would motivate this specific group of people that they will help you, no, as project leader, meet your objective. So as like, for example, as I think this is not different when you are a president of the university or dean of the colleges. No? So I think for me as a project leader or a leader, no, so you need to understand the background or saan ba yung pinanggagalingan ng mga tao, no, or the people under you, no. So you need to understand these different kinds of people under you. Hindi pwede yung attitude, no, for as a leader. Kung ayaw mong gawin to, di ayaw. Ano pakialam ko, no? So meaning to say there will be situations like that, no, kung ang perspective ng manager or project leader na ganyan, no. So we need, as a leader, we need both the, if we are very good already with hard skills, even if we have very good hard skills, no, so soft skills entirely different, because you're managing people to help you deliver the set goals and objectives of your unit or your, for example, your college or the university you are in. So, yeah, so I salute people who have very good both hard skills and soft skills in terms of managing people. And then specific, they're very excellent already in terms of their knowledge and skill set, and then they're very good at people. Then I really have a good, or I really have high respect for those people, no? Because soft skills is really the thing, no? Because if you have a project team and then you have these project team members with you, and then you would always argue with them, then you will not be working with the project. So that affects the entire project. Or in a situation, if you're in a college or in the university, and if you're a leader na who argues all the time, for example, then that's not a healthy environment you're creating. So I remember Simon Sinek, in the leadership skills. A lot of the top management though in companies or any other institutions, they missed out. No? So they were put in the position first and foremost because, of course, people know that they have good hard skills. No? So they have good hard skills. But when they're put already in the position, so there will be problems because they don't know how to interact with people. They don't know how to manage people or look into the welfare of people. So Simon Sinek, he's a management parang consultant, no? Wrote a book about, I think you can also read this online, view this online in YouTube. Wrote about like leaders eat last. No, so that's a very very good book. No, I don't have a copy, but I've seen how Simon Sinek look into that. And the emphasis is that we need the as a leader we need to look into our people. No, so put ourselves in the shoes of our people. Like maybe there are people who are not working, committing because maybe they have situations back at home. They have problems at home. No? So the manager or the leader needs to put themselves in the shoes of those people. Yeah. You might think, ngano ka ni ngano mi yang attitude, ngano ka ngani nga sige ra man kasag kasubo, no? So we need to say there must be a communication, no, to reach out for a leader, project leader. You don't have to wait for your team, for project team members to um talk to you, no? So because you are the leader, so we need to talk to those particular person. Unsa kay problema ang niya, no? So Juan, so what seems to be the problem? I've noticed that in the past few days, you're not exerting a lot of effort. Yeah? So I think there must be a problem with you. No? So you're not reporting, you're not submitting report. So what seems to be the problem? No? So other managers or other leaders no react differently. Like ano magawa pa makakasubmit to report? Why are you not yet submitting a report? The deadline was already last week. So something like that. So we need people, managers, leaders in our workplace that, or we, if in the future become managers ourselves or project leaders in ourselves. So we need to actually look into this. No? So yeah, so it's different when we are trying to understand people. Sometimes we are frustrated, so how our team members work, but at the end of the day, we all lose. No, we all lose if we are not working, no, towards the goal that we set, and our commitment is not there. So we need to balance these two skills, and these are the very very important skills. That's why I'm trying to focus here. So on top of that, we need to have these skills for project managers to be very specific. All right. So I think I mentioned already leadership skills, no? Setting examples. So what there are people that trying to distinguish. Actually, there's a significant difference between being a leader and being a manager. All right. So as a leader, we set examples. Like we let our people see how work is being done, no? So parang when we say follow the leader, so meaning to say the leader is ahead, no, in terms of facing danger, facing risks, and the team members are at the back, like uh, we're 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 in a good position because our we know and trust our leader that he's gonna face on all the dangers, all the risks associated with the project we are working, no, or we are going towards, no? So unlike the manager will tell you, okay, Juan, you need to go there and then talk to the customer because we have a big problem. You face and talk to them and then report to me what are their complaints. When we are a leader, what we usually do is that, okay, Juan, go with me. We're gonna meet the customer because I think our customer has a concern, no? And then let's see if we can address this problem. No? So that's one example only, no? So that's how we, I know, we perceive that in terms of facing challenges. Although it's mentioned here delegating, as a leader, we also delegate our work because as a project leader, right, it's difficult if we do all the jobs. No? So meaning to say we delegate, no, our work specific to the persons that is required to do the task. All right. Okay. So we need to also learn these skills. Now, communication skills. I think a lot of people said this, that the best way to communicate with others, the team members, to our customers is to listen. So especially customers, no? Especially team members as a leader. So we listen. It could be anything that they want to throw at us. No? So then, of course, as a good project leader, we evaluate those things that they're going to say. So are we going to solve the problem for them, or are we going to present options for them? So if you think that there is a particular solution that is desired, no? So meaning to say we need to persuade the particular team member that I think what we're gonna do is like this, no? Because I believe that this is. So something like that. No? A good project leader also is good in organizing. No? So planning, setting goals, analysis, what is happening. So I remember that when you have a very good plan, that is already half work done. Meaning to say, if we properly plan our activities, what we're doing, the job is already 50% done, because if we execute this plan, then it would be going smoothly. No? Expected to be going smoothly. All right? Okay. All right. So I think I need to improve my internet. So we need to have these communication skills, organizational skills, team building skills. So this is what we also do in the company before. We have team buildings to show empathy, understand, or motivate, promote better relationship within the team. So looking at the situation of others. So it's team building is fun all the time. But what really matters is what we do, no, after the team building. Because I would always laugh because we have a very good team building, and a month of, well, the first 3 weeks is very, very nice. But after some few months, we go back to our old. So, all right, nawala. Okay, wait lang ha. All right, so we've been talking about skills, no? So these are very important skills. So, but we will be able to build on these skills when we go through, no, the process. We might have a very good knowledge, but it's different when we apply these skills. No? So it's an effort. No, we need to have an effort actually showing empathy to others. We need to build this effort, no, to build effort on this so that we'll be able to apply. No? So kanang, for example, basic na lang, like for example, there is a balay, no? So there was a basurero who came over asking for the basura, of course, and then um, like you understand, you empathize the situation, even like this is Christmas, so sometimes you give gifts, no? So in the form of money or goods, no? So showing empathy that you understand the situation of others, that it's difficult to find money. Like for example, I think I also am trying to understand your case, really, and that you're trying to earn a living and then working at the same time. So I will be flexible, no? Okay, I have to be flexible because you have needs or need to satisfy, help your family, for example, no? And then we don't like have to have a fixed schedule of the classes, right? So that's why it's very important to understand. So I'm showing you, like for example, or others, that we can be um parang understand the situation of others. So that somehow would um also give you an idea that when you are now in the situation just as me, you would also be considerate with others. So that's how I think, for me, so values, in terms of value setting. So we try to meet halfway. So if these things doesn't work, like what we're doing today, every day, so of classes, so we need to be flexible and where we could meet. So I need to understand that. So over time, when you usually do this, so you practice this, so you develop that as a habit already. So sa 7 habits, so you make that as a habit. So it's no longer an effort because you were doing it time and time again. And so this kind of things is normal already to you. At first, that might be very, very difficult because you need to exert effort. But when you're used to it, then it would be, good for you already. Now, good hard skills and soft skills are two important things. But for me, and I think even Simon Sinek is preaching about this, we need to be able not to focus ourselves harder on the soft skills, because good skills can be acquired, tools, techniques, knowledge, those are going to be acquired. But soft skills, that is more on our attitude, attitude, how we look into people, how we manage people, interact with people, communicate with people. So yeah, so those are the things that we need to have, right? So technology skills, the use of technologies to implement the projects that we have. So I mentioned about coping skills, right? Being flexible, being patient, creative, persistent. So we need to have, as a project leader, I think in any way, we need to be able to make our rope longer. So Bisaya pa, yung mo ng PCS, taas pa, so to be very patient. We have a long way, me myself, I have a long way in this regard now, but I think this is the things that we need to focus on, because we know hard skills can be learned, can be acquired, but these skills, soft skills, needs some work, all right? But when you do this all the time, then it becomes a habit and should not be a problem anymore. over time. But we need to remind ourselves. So there should be a conscious decision to do it. No, there should be a conscious decision in terms of being patient, conscious decision of being considerate, being to empathize with people. No? All right. So good project management skills from The Apprentice. This is a TV show in the US, right? So leadership and professionalism are crucial. So know what your sponsor expects from the project and learn from your mistakes. I think this is very important. Learn from your mistake. You may be able to make mistakes once or twice, but beyond that, I think you need to really discipline ourselves in not making the same mistakes all over again. All right. So trust your team and delegate decisions. Know the business. Of course, that is very important. And we need to stand up for ourselves. No? So you have to like defend for yourself based on the decisions you made. If you have a very good sound basis for coming up with a decision, then you need to put yourself up to that. No? So be a team player, stay organized, and don't be very emotional. So recently I've learned about this. No? So we need to control our emotions. So ako, I'm a very emotional person as well. I cry, I laugh, I get angry, I get mad. I do love people, but all these things, when we are working, we need to also control our emotions. Like as a leader, we need to really, when you are really mad and angry because this particular person did not do her job properly and costing a lot of money because this and that, it's not contributing to the organization. So we need to be very, very patient with them and then understand the process, the entire process. Now, so we need to be firm as well as a leader. If the person doesn't commit to the thing we're doing, we need to make a decision as well. It doesn't mean that we just have to be to emphasize all the time, no, to empathize all the time. But we need to understand the situation, and then if he still or she still continues to commit to the project, then we need to do some assessment, no? Because if the commitment is no longer there, then we need to decide, no? So both persons, the project leader, the project team member, need to decide, no? Na, I think we need to stop this, no? And if he decides to go out from the project, then so be it, no? Because staying in the project and doing nothing does not contribute to something, then doesn't have making an impact, and you're shouldering the cost now of her or him being in the project. All right. So I think we need to be also with this. No, we need. But if he remains and he say I'm still committed to project, then there's some changes to be done now with how you can deliver the commitment. So the attitude. No? But as a project leader, you need to encourage. No? So encouragement. All right. Effective managers, project managers, leadership by example, visionary, technically competent. Of course, doesn't necessarily mean that you're the brightest in terms of technical terms, no? But as a project leader, you know something, no? You know something. You know a lot, but there might be people that is better than you technically, but you can use a good project manager actually recognize those people and take them as a part of the team. I hope you understand now. To contribute, no, because you have perhaps you will have a better chance of success when you have a person who is better than you. No? So that's what I did before. No? So this guy, this engineer is way ahead of me. He's been in the company for a very long time, and I was not having any hesitation in terms of getting his expertise, joining that project team, because for sure, I will be learning from him and he will be contributing a lot to the project management team. And the project leader should always recognize this and acknowledge this, that the limelight or the owner should not be all about him. No? So that's why we also have to recognize the team members. Every time our name is put up there, I always have to recognize this has always been done, possibly done, because the people is working along with me have done great things for the project. It's not only for me, right? So that is very, very important as well. So good motivator, good communicator. So I think my father-in-law, no, who was a manager in National Power Corporation. I see him, no, when I was still working as a manager. Although he's retired now, but I could sense that he's a very good motivator. So one motivation, one motivator that I always see from him is that every time, like there's a celebration, he's not really like kuripot, no, na he would always feed his people. No? So, and in return, because of that, of course, there's a quote, no, that there's no better way to get to the heart of your husband but through his stomach. I don't know how was that now, but parang it's the same principle I think applies to people. No? Like you feed people because they work with although that is not part of the contract, but then when you reward people with with this kind of things, no, na magpakaon, then I think that motivates people to continue doing their great job on the team, no? Because they are well fed, they are well taken care of, not just um, through emotionally, but also like this kind of celebrations that you put up to. You know? So supporting team members, encouraging new ideas, these are very important also because for me, we need to entertain all ideas. Maybe it sounds crazy, those ideas are, but if eventually there might be crazy ideas coming up and then that would help solve the problem, then why not, right? So those are kind of the project managers. Managers in university or college or in projects now, so in the corporate world, so it's very important that we encourage and support our team members. So parang nanay ka or tatay eh. So yeah, so Simon Sinek says it, no, in his book na it leaders eat last because you look after the welfare of the people. No? You defend those people under you, and those people under us, under us, you need to protect them. No, so there will be like situations outside of the unit na being threatened. No, so threatened especially ang panginabuhi, no, or the livelihood of the person that we have under us. If their livelihoods are threatened, no, so that's a difficult for them to personally manage. So as manager of the unit, you need to make sure that these guys under us who commits themselves to working with us has to feel that they are actually being taken care, defended, well defended. No? If there are opportunities for them, yeah, so present it to them. No? For example, if it's time for them to lead a project, we need to encourage, help them to become project leaders themselves. No? So it's not all the time that we get to take credits all the time. No? So good leaders for me, no, for me, develop people, no, so develop people. That's what how I understand it. No? So we need to develop people. We need to take care of people, make them grow, no, in the organization. Let us set an example that they can actually follow, no, na mga butang-butang, na mga activities or so what they do in their lives. No? So yeah, so encourage people to grow themselves. No? So those are very important things. For me, I don't really care. For me, no? So I'm not being I don't want to brag, no, but I'll be happy to see that like my kids will grow better than me, meaning to say professionally or whatever accomplishment they may have, better than me. Then I'll be happy with that. No, I think the same would be true, no, for people in the institutions we work in. Project managers or leaders, you would be happy to see people doing better than us or than me. So I would be very happy about that. So if other people would be professors, then so be it. So I don't think all of the people this type of consciousness now, but it would be good for our organization to have that mindset as well. If we are very competent, kanang grabe ang competition within the institution, then somehow that would not have a good or healthy relationship among the members of the organization. So a good leader, for example, manager, president of the corporation, somehow look into these things. So there are a lot of people actually. So they're in the corporate world that does this. So we just have to dig them out. Case study, kumbaga. I think that will be one of our case study. So in terms of how company leadership turns the company around or set the company to better heights because of these management principles, right? So I think we can have some in the next meeting. We can have some examples that I've not given here, but I know some companies that they were able to do this because they were able to still parang motivate people, encourage people. Like for example, in the COVID pandemic, the Ayala Corporation, they did not fire all of their people. They did not. So they continue to pay some of the staff even if they are under the pandemic, recognizing that perhaps this is just something for a short time. So of course, Ayala has a lot of money, but there were some people na belt tightening. For example, instead of firing people because it's pandemic, what they did was to the top management reduce their salary to 70%, 60%, so that in excess of their salary, those staff members will still have money, although even if not 100%, they get 50%, 60%, 70%, they have a salary still, despite of that, because we are in a pandemic situation and a lot of companies are like laying off their people, like Cebu Pacific, those temporaries they laid off because there's no flight, there's no travel, there are a lot of travel restrictions. Okay. So effective project managers provide leadership by example. I think I've shared some ideas about this. And leader focuses on long-term goals and big picture objectives while inspiring people to reach those goals. Wow. So long-term goals. So like setting, like if you are a company, so like Apple, so you're what would you need to define what would be your long-term goal? So I think on their table there must be a thing that we want to remain the mobile phone leader in America, because admittedly Apple is the leader in mobile phones, smartphones in the US. But the competition exists, like Samsung or Huawei taking a some share, penetration in the market, in the US market. So they would still commit themselves to that long-term goal to remain as the top smartphone producing, or not just smartphone, but innovative products related to electronics in the US, right? And then continue to inspire people. I noticed that in the recent promotional videos of Apple, before when they launched the product, it always been Steve Jobs doing the talking. And now, the CEO of Apple, he involved his chief technology officer, those people working in this particular product, to say something about the product. So, for example, smartwatches or phones, or the design managers. And I think it's a good thing. It's somehow shows us that, hey, I'm not the only person, no, as a CEO. I'm not the well, I do all those things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to take credit of all these things, no, because people, like, you have a design department and they're doing a lot of great jobs, no, in Apple, and this trying to show that, well, I'll give you a chance to shine, no, on a greater stage, in the global stage, and I think this is a good thing. I remember when I was I am still in the tech transfer officer, right? So, but my experience that when Engineer Jeffrey Bagasbas was still with us, no, in it, so I miss the guy. Um, we we gave him a lot of opportunities to shine, no, to lead, to one, because that's part of our job, no, to help people shine, no, so if they have a specific skill sets or knowledge, and then they can um, be on the stage. No? So we give chance. It's not about me doing all the thing, all the talking. So we give chance for people to shine. No? So that's how I try to say it. To shine, no? Meaning to say, um, to show himself to the world. No? Parang opening himself to the world. Because you're also teaching parang communication, skills, no, so for him, no, that he will be able to learn and practice that for himself, right? This is more on the I don't know, Gantt chart, word breakdown structure. I'm gonna discuss this when we um continue on with our discussion or our meeting. So for now, let me end this now, our discussion for in this topic, and then we'll see future discussion as well on the next topic on the PERT CPM, Gantt chart, and all that is required. Now, these are relating to the hard skills. All right.